some of the
Mhm.
roster decisions that the Pittsburgh Steelers have to make. We've got some decisions to make, and we're going to take a look at the positions overall and discuss, especially the quarterback position and the
Mhm.
wide receiver position and the offensive line evaluation. So we're going to talk about that today. First off, let's start with quarterback. Let's
Mhm.
start with quarterback. And again, with the people that are currently on the Pittsburgh Steelers roster right now. There's no
Mhm.
reason to talk about when you're doing a roster evaluation about somebody that's not here.
Mhm.
So let's do that. And so with Mason Rudolph, look, he's safe, he's steady. Um, but think about his upside. Like, what's
Mhm.
Mason Rudolph's upside? I think that's kind of the problem when you start talking about Mason Rudolph. It's like he's dependable, but can he win you a playoff game? Can he go win playoff games?
Mhm.
Then you start talking about Will Howard.
Mhm.
His upside is bigger. In my opinion, it's much bigger than Mason Rudolph's.
Mhm.
He's got size, he's got athleticism. He doesn't have a Dan Marino arm, but he can make every throw,
Mhm.
and that's all you need out of an NFL quarterback. As long as you can make every throw, everybody doesn't have a Josh Allen cannon. I mean, that's just not what it is. I
Mhm.
like his upside, you
Mhm.
know. So my question to you, G, do the Steelers go with the known and what they have with Mason Rudolph, or do they say, you know what, we think that Will Howard gets it and we gets it now. We're going to put him out there because we think if we play him early by the end of the year, Will Howard's going to be a good football player moving forward. Do the Steelers do that?
B, we know the Steelers. We've been around them for years and years and years. We know the tendencies. There ain't no way in hell that Mike Tomlin is going to let Will Howard run out on the field game one, week one against the Minnesota Vikings unless he's the second coming of Ben Roethlisberger. It's not going to happen. So he's going to lean towards Mason Rudolph. Can Will Howard eventually beat Mason Rudolph out? Absolutely. Can that be week 7, week 8, maybe week 9? Yes. Definitely if there's an injury. Yes. So I like the upside of Will Howard, but knowing the tendencies of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mason Rudolph is going to get his opportunity to secure the quarterback position of QB1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's just how Tomlin rolls. That's how he gets down. So, yeah, it's Rudolph 1, Howard 2, but I agree with you 100%. Howard has all the potential in the world to become the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right. First super chat of the night by our man Mason, Mr. Mason. He says, "I need Big Ben to Will Howard pipeline to reach fruition." I mean,
Mhm.
here's the thing. I want Will Howard to start. I would take him over Mason Rudolph right now. I just
Mhm.
know there's no way that that's going to happen.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did. Mike Tomlin's not going to do it. Mike
Mhm.
Tomlin won't start. He didn't even want to start rookies at defensive line, linebacker. He doesn't want to do that. So if he doesn't want to do that, it's hard for me to believe that he's just going to start a rookie quarterback over a guy that's been in the system for a while, that's pretty dependable, been with your franchise that they know.
Mhm.
But again, that doesn't mean that I can't have my feelings on what they want. But I
Mhm.
know that Mike Tomlin's just not going to do that. But I would prefer if it was Will Howard. That's
Mhm.
what I would prefer, but they're not going to do it. They're going to start Mason Rudolph. And that's just the way it's going to be. We can be up mad and all that kind of stuff, but we know what Mike Tomlin is. We know who he is, and that's what he's going to do, G.
Yeah, but and listen, man, I see Pun over there. He was 1 minute he's talking about I was an alcoholic. Now he's saying it's less than a 1% chance that a quarterback, a starting quarterback in the NFL, is from the 6th round makes it. What's Brock Purdy, dude? That's
Yeah,
all I'm saying.
but he's right though. He's right. There's only been
Yeah,
two quarterbacks since 2010 drafted in the 6th round or less that have ended up being a quarterback worth a damn in the National Football League. So he's right.
yeah,
It is a long shot. You can't depend on that because
hmm
again, guys are getting drafted in the 6th round for a reason.
hmm
It isn't because everybody thought, oh, this guy's ultra talented, but
hmm
we're gonna wait and draft him in the 6th round.
That's
That's not
fact.
why they do it.
Yeah, I agree with that part. But I'm saying to act like it doesn't happen, it happens. Listen, The main thing about the quarterback is that the head coach has to be comfortable with enough putting the player out on the field to know that his team can't win without this guy playing. And it's really like that at all the positions, B. But even more so is that the quarterback. So Howard has shown early that he wants to give himself an opportunity to do that, i.e., why he came in and signed a contract real early, why he got the playbook real early. They was trying to give him the weekend off. He said, "Hell no, I'm about to go in here and start working today because my goal and aspirations, being a Pennsylvania kid, is to put myself in position to win the starting freaking job for the Pittsburgh Steelers." So,
Right.
like you're saying, is Mason Rudolph and Will Howard? I would give the edge right now to Mason, right? But by the time OTAs is over with and camp and all whatever else, they're gonna be closer than what a lot of people think. And
Right.
you don't really know what a guy's going to do until you put him out there and bullets start flying. That's the whole thing with sometimes with guys who get drafted lower. You don't know what they're going to do until you get them out on the field and bullets start flying. What Will Howard has shown me, B, is that when bullets fly, that boy can play. That's all I know against his best competition that he played at Kansas State and Ohio State. When bullets were flying and he was playing his best competition, he showed that he could play. So
Right.
let's see what happens when bullets start flying in the NFL. And I know NFL and college is two different things, but bro, he played at the top of the echelon against college competition, and he handled his business. So
Right.
let's give him an opportunity to see what he does. Now, like you said, it's Mason all day and night to start out with. There's no way in hell, unless he's the second coming. If he's the second coming, then there's nothing else to talk about. But
Right.
as of right now, it's Mason, bro. It's Mason.
So I want to get back to this chat here. This question by the member Carl. He put up. He was asking about when Tomlin is eventually gone. Do you think we'll be in the hunt for a current head coach in the league to take his place, or will there probably be somebody better suited? My thing about that is that okay, we're wanting Tomlin to be gone. That's something in itself. But even if he is, I've said this all along. Everybody always says, and again, I know I'm moving the goalposts and we're jumping around, but I thought I missed this question and I started. I wanted to get back to it. Sorry about that, chat.
Mhm.
But Mike Tomlin is not the only person on earth that can coach the Pittsburgh Steelers. There are other people on earth that can coach the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, I don't want Mike Tomlin to be fired, at least not right now. I think it's fine. But
Mhm.
he isn't the only person that can coach the Steelers. So all those national pundits that always talk about, oh, well, if you fire Mike Tomlin, who you going to get?
Mhm.
Somebody else. That's
Mhm.
who we're going to get. Somebody else that's competent and knows how to coach football. That's
Mhm.
who we'll get. So I
Mhm.
just thought that was it's a great question by Carl, and I missed it earlier, and I wanted to come back and to address it. It's just like we got to stop with all of the, oh, well, nobody else can coach the Steelers. And again, you can hate Mike Tomlin, you can love Mike Tomlin, whatever. But
Mhm.
either way, somebody else can coach the Pittsburgh Steelers and be successful. Okay? We have to stop with the nonsense that nobody else is out there on planet Earth that can coach. Because that's what your ESPNs, your NFL networks, that's what everybody always talks about and acts like there's nobody else that can
Mhm.
coach the Steelers. Well,
Mhm.
how come other coaches get other jobs and they do fine in those jobs, but they can't come to Pittsburgh and do well?
That's
That doesn't
facts.
make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me. Again, I didn't mean to take this and run a different direction. I apologize. I just thought it needed to be said. At some point, like you mentioned, Mike Tomlin's going to be gone. And when he
Mhm.
is, are we saying the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise is going to be over? I don't think so. So
B.
we just got to
One
keep
thing.
those things in perspective.
One thing I got in confidence about the Pittsburgh Steelers, they know exactly what they hell to do when hiring a head coach. We done had
Correct.
3 coaches: Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. All 3 of them got chips. All 3 of them win. All 3 of them handle their business. So if we don't know anything else, we know what the hell we doing with a head coach and a hiring of a
Yes.
head coach. We know we're better than any franchise in the NFL with hiring a head coach. Period. It's the Steelers and cut the freaking deck. 3 coaches since the 60s. they can get up out of here. So absolutely, we're going to get the next guy. He's going to be killing it too, and he'll be number 4. So you're 100% correct, bro. 100%.
Right. It's a good question by Mark Tobin. He said, why are they so afraid to move on from him? Because Mike Tomlin's putting them through a rebuild. And you don't move on from a head coach when you're in the middle of a rebuild. And again, we know why they're in the middle of a rebuild, because they're staying relevant, not tanking, and still winning football games while they're rebuilding the roster. So what would you rather do? Go, okay, we're going to rebuild. We're going to fire this coach, go through a rebuild, fire that coach, continue through the rebuild, fire that coach. No, what the Steelers are saying is, okay, we've got this guy. Let him get us through the rebuild. And then once we get through it, which we're not through it yet, people, but once we get through it, if he can't win, then at that point you can probably say, okay, it's time to look at doing something different. But the Steelers are going through a rebuild, and franchises that fire coaches in the middle of that are stupid. I always say, why you put a coach through the rebuild, you knew they weren't going to be as good, so why get rid of them? That doesn't make any sense to me. So at least that's my opinion. That's my opinion with it. So
I'm with you, B. I'm with you, man. I'm with you, man. The hell with what they talking about. I'm with you. Yeah, you're absolutely 100% correct. I'm with you, man. You're right.
Yeah. So let's get back on topic here. Offensive line evaluation. So, look, I think we got one in Zach Frazier. I think we got one in Isaac Seumalo. Okay. Now we got to start talking about what's next, because the young core is Faetanu, Broderick Jones, and McCormick. I'll ask you, we got Broderick at left tackle. You think it's going to work, G? You think it's going to work out?
Yes. Two factors and 2 reasons why. Number 1, he was hurt last year. Matter of fact, B, let me say this. He was injured. We just didn't know the details of it. That boy was hurt and injured, and he played through it. And he's in his natural position. Trust me, I played all up and down the line. There's a big difference between flipping from left to right. B, you played all up and down the wrong line. You know there's a big difference between flipping from left to right. And with that level of competition, putting him in his natural position where he feels the most comfortable is the main factor. So injury and being hurt last year plagued him, and he's going to be in his natural position. So yes, he's going to work at left tackle.
Yeah. I mean, the only counterpart that I would say about that is he was fine his rookie year at right tackle.
That's
you know, that's the thing, is that he just took 2 steps back last year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Is that he was fine his rookie year. I'm not saying he was perfect, but he was much better as a rookie playing right tackle than he was last season. Now, some people want to say that he was injured, yada, 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 or he was frustrated because he didn't win the job at left tackle over Dan Moore, whatever. But I just know that his rookie year, he was fine. And if he would have played like that last year, the Steelers would have had a better football team. I can tell you that right now. They absolutely would have had a better football team. So he's got to be better. He's got to be better. Faetanu's just got to stay healthy. He's got to stay healthy. People talk, and I know he had injury history, but the last 2 years of football that he played in college, he was healthy. It wasn't like he had gotten hurt every single year. The last 2 years of football in college, he was healthy, and then he got hurt. So he got hurt twice, though. I mean, it wasn't just once. The man got hurt twice. So we just got to figure that part of it out. I think if Faetanu, if he can play like he did against Denver, it wasn't the perfect game, but it was pretty good. If he does that, Steelers are better. I mean, they are just better. I think it's Broderick and it's McCormick. I think Broderick and McCormick. Those are the keys.
So which one do you think has to play the best in order for us to succeed? Broderick first and then McCormick?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, your left tackle has to play better, because you need your left tackle to play well so that they don't have to constantly chip with a tight end or running back. At some point, you're going to help somebody, but you need your left tackle to be able to block a defensive end by himself from time to time. You need him to be able to do that. So the important, don't get me wrong, people think that interior positions aren't important. They absolutely are, especially in the run game. but Broderick has to be good in the passing game. And he's the most important piece in all of this. Because if he can play well, then that doesn't make everybody else play well. It just makes the job easier for the line. That's all. It makes it easier, G.
B, I'm gonna put it on wax right now. Broderick Jones is playing for his contract this year, not next year. He playing for his contract this year. So he's got to play. Because guess what? If he don't play this year, first round of NFL draft next year, we're going to get a left tackle. I promise you. I promise. People say quarterback. Now, hell no. We're going to go get a left tackle. I promise you. And Steeler fans ain't going to understand it, but we're going to go get that left tackle, bro. I promise you. So he's playing for his contract this year, bro. This season.
No, I don't disagree. Hell, I was not under the impression, but I wouldn't have been mad if the Steelers said, you know what? We just can't trust Broderick. We can't trust him. We're taking a left tackle in the first round this year. I wouldn't have been mad if the Steelers decided to do that. I get why they didn't. I get that, hey, we got to give this guy an opportunity to play the position that we drafted him to play. I totally understand. But I don't think anybody would have been mad if they said, you know what? No, what we've seen enough. We got to go get a guy. So clearly they have a little faith in him that he's going to be better. So he's going to be better because if he can play up to potential, because again, you see it in spurts, G. You see it in spurts all the time, man. We got us a new member, people. Got us a new member, Andrew Shizmansky. And if I'm pronouncing it wrong, which I'm sure I am, I apologize. I appreciate you supporting the channel, man. Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you. But yeah, we have a chance. We got a chance. McCormick's going to be a key too. I just think here's the thing, and I know the chat, we've talked about this before, and I know, G, we've talked about it, is that McCormick is the key. And the reason that he is because he had no technique last year. He wasn't supposed to start. He's coming from the FCF level and not going from here to here like the jump is from high Division I football. He was going from here to here, and he wasn't even supposed to be out there. So I think if Mason can judge, because first of all, you can't teach his enthusiasm. You can't teach his motor. You can't teach his nastiness. Like that, those are things that you can't teach. He's got it. If he can get him some technique, we got us one. We got us one. That's why, like, if the line just plays average football this year, because it was below average last year, if they play average football this year, the Steelers are going to have a good football team, G. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe it.
Let's put it on wax. If the Steelers line plays average or better than average, we're going to win at least one playoff game and win 11 games. 11 plus. Let's put it out there on wax. I ain't scared. I ain't never been scared. If the Steelers offensive line plays average to above average, we will win 11 plus games and win at least one playoff game. And I don't give a damn who playing quarterback. That with Mason Rudolph, we're going to win 11 plus if the lines show up. Because we got all the other positions. So, yeah, you're absolutely correct, B. Put it out there on wax. I ain't scared of them, B. The Steelers fans are shaking in their boots right now. The schedule. Man, I ain't worried about that schedule, bruh. We play who we play. So, yeah, if the line steps up and do what they need to do, 11 plus all day and night, man. All day and night.
Right. Yeah, I'm interested to see it. Some people in the chat, Rob Lightfoot is literally crashing out, talking about Faetano hadn't played meaningful football games in 2 years. I mean, he played last year. Now, granted, it was one game, but he played in it and played well. I mean, I get we have our agendas, but come on, man, we got to start being realistic. We got to start being realistic.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Broderick and McCormick are the key. They're the key. So we'll see exactly what happens. Yeah. Now we're moving on to wide receiver 2, ladies and gentlemen. What are the Pittsburgh Steelers going to do with wide receiver 2? Number 1, we got DK Metcalf. He slides in at number 2 spot. A lot of people, myself included, are like, we're in the same spot as we were last year, but I think it's better because I believe that DK is better than George Pickens. There's some people that don't believe that. I think DK Metcalf is better than Pickens.
Mhm.
We add Robert Woods. I think Robert Woods is better than Van Jefferson. Calvin Austin's a year older. The key to all of this, ladies and gentlemen, is Roman Wilson. Now, you could say that the key is the Steelers have to go out and sign a number 2 receiver. And I don't disagree with that. Just so we're clear. I thought they should have done it last year, and I think they should still do it this year. But if Roman Wilson can actually play, if he can play, that solves a lot of the problems that the Pittsburgh Steelers have. That solves the problem. The problem with that is we really don't know if he can play, because when he got healthy, the Steelers didn't even feel comfortable enough to put him out there, which to me, that's a terrible sign. Not a bad sign. That's a terrible sign.
It's what it shows is that let's talk about from a coaching standpoint. What it shows is either A, he's not getting the coaching that he needs to get on the field, or B, he just doesn't know what to do. And we put him in game simulated situations in practice, and he's still making mistakes. And B, you know this from experience. They're just not going to try to do it out there just because he was a second or third round draft pick. He's got to show that he can play.
That's right.
And that's why it's a big question mark. And it's the key. If Rome steps up, we might have one, but we won't know until OTAs, the first couple of preseason games, the first game or two. If he hits, then we're good. But I think they got to make a move. That's just me, bro. I just think they got to make a move.
Right. I think they do too. I just think they got to add somebody. What's wrong with strengthening a position? I don't think there's anything wrong with the Pittsburgh Steelers going out there and strengthening a position. I don't believe that. I think they can do that, and they can do it relatively easy. Look, I know we've talked about some free agents. We've talked about them. Amari Cooper, I don't think that's a fit for the Steelers. Gabe Davis, I think, is more of a fit. And we could get Gabe Davis for cheap because he's already getting paid from Jacksonville. Keenan Allen isn't a fit for Pittsburgh, although Keenan Allen is still a phenomenal route runner with great hands. Keenan Allen has injury problems. Oh, by the way, Keenan Allen was also the worst blocking wide receiver in the National Football League last year. So if he's going to be that, then he doesn't. It doesn't work. It does not work. So
I don't want none of them.
Out, but just real quick, Arch Baby Doll's headed out. See you later. Good night, Arch Baby Doll. Thank you for coming in. Arch Baby Doll has been a member, guys. I don't want to get into specifics on what's going on with her, but either way, she is here. Everybody, you get a chance, say goodnight to her. She shows up each and every time that we are on, so I appreciate her support, man. Thank you. But yeah, that's where we are. I don't think any of those guys are that big. I know there's been some talk about Tyler Boyd. I'm like, no, I don't want Tyler Boyd either. So that leaves us with a trade.
Yeah.
A trade out there, Big G, that you think the Steelers could make for wide receiver number 2.
Chris Olave. Chris. He wants to get the hell out of New Orleans right now. Trust me, I know. He wants to get there. I'm telling you what I know. I ain't guessing. I'm telling you what I know. He wants the hell out of New Orleans right now because he doesn't see any future. He knows that the New Orleans Saints is probably going to be to be the worst team in the NFC in their conference, is probably tanking right now, and the season ain't even started, trying to get the number 1 overall draft pick. I don't care. We got to trade a second or a third for next season. Go to New Orleans, call them on the phone, get Chris Olave. That brings competition into the room. It's a guy that runs directly with DK Metcalf. You got a Batman with a Robin. You don't have to worry about it. Now, does he have injury issues? Yeah. But sometimes that's because you're playing for a horrible organization. So let's go down and get Chris Olave the hell out of New Orleans. That's my number 1 target if I had to make a trade. I don't know about you, B.
I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, we had to give up a lot because New Orleans isn't going to want to just let him go. But we have a lot. So maybe there's a package that you could go get a Chris Olave, and he would be perfect. In New Orleans, here's the thing. New Orleans is starting over. They don't have no money. Like they don't have any money to sign anybody. They're in salary cap hell. So they're not doing anything. But I think if they're trying to be a competitive football team, they would want to keep Chris Olave. That's my number one target. Somebody mentioned DJ Chark. I like Chark. The problem with him is that, how many games is he going to play? He's been so injury prone. But if you could get him on the field, I like it. I also like Dontavian Wicks out of Green Bay. I like Wicks. You could probably get him for a 5th round pick and put him at wide receiver 2. Again, you're wide receiver 2. You're not asking this guy to get you 100 catches a year. That, especially in a Steelers offense. You're not wanting the guy to get you 70 catches a year. That's not what we're looking for. We're just looking for somebody that can be viable on the backside, that if they decide they want to double cover DK Metcalf, that guy is going to make you pay because he's going to be able to beat one-on-one coverage. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're looking for in a wide receiver too. So Jameson Williams, we just got rid of a headache. That's not another one. I know he's talented, Big Pun, you're right, but we just got rid of a headache. Why would you trade for another one?
No.
The Steelers aren't going to do that. That doesn't make any sense. They're not going to do that. And Pickens is more talented than he is. So I get what you're saying, but
B, I know where we can get one though. I know where we can get one. I know what team. Because they got a log jam at wide receiver. Pierce, Pittman, Dobbs, Adnan Mitchell. Somebody got to go over in Indianapolis. That's too many dudes. Dobbs, young, basically still on his rookie contract. Adnan Mitchell got all the super talented potential and all get up. Pittman done showed you a dog. Pierce done showed you a dog. Knapp, give up one of them wide receivers. NAP, give me one of them dudes, dog. I'll give you a second or third. I want one. Listen, I don't give a damn which one of them it is. Dobbs, Adnan Mitchell, Pittman, Pierce. They got too many dudes. Not all them dudes is going to play, bro. They got to go get a dude from Knapp. That's probably where they need to go holler at. It's Knapp, NAP, man. And go holler at him.
Yeah. My man Carl says Adam Thielen out of the question for a 1-year contract. If that's what you're wanting to do, I don't want Adam Thielen. I think Thielen's a fine player. He did fine last year in Carolina, but that wouldn't be the route that I would go. Not right now, but that wouldn't be the route that I would go. And we can't trade for Tyreek Hill, Big Pun. Stay off the Thunderbird. Okay.
And the Quavo too, Pun. What the hell are you? We're not trading for Tyreek. Stop that, man. No.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. Stop that.
I know they talked about Chicago. Somebody in the chat was talking about DJ Moore. Chicago's not going to trade DJ Moore. They're just not. They're not going to trade him. I would take him. Don't get me wrong. I would take DJ Moore in a heartbeat from Chicago. But first of all, Chicago is not going to trade us DJ Moore just for the simple fact of what we did with them to Chase Claypool. They're going to hold that over our head for a long time. So they ain't going to trade us. But either way, I wouldn't mind it.